Hey everybody, let's talk about some Blood Bowl League of Blood Bowl. Week just ended a little bit early, which is nice. Always a good thing to end a week a little bit early. And the week went, I would say, incredibly well for me, honestly. I would normally say something like pretty good or okay, but it went really, really well, all things considered. It could have gone better. It's Blood Bowl. It could always go better, but the way it went was very, very nice. Got some level ups to talk about. One more Stein. I aggressively fed touchdowns and got level three. Yeah, I gave one more Stein dodge. And I know I said last time I'm probably gonna give him block right away, but I decided I was gonna go for dodge because with +1 agility, not having to reroll running through tackle zones is really, really nice. And while there is a fair amount of tackle around now, it's not everywhere, and even if it is, it's not every single player. So let's say this is a good choice. I don't know. I do want to get this piece level 4, but I can't guarantee anything. Even if I don't, +1 agility plus dodge is an excellent, excellent catcher. So I can't complain one way or the other. I think that was my only level up. Yeah, all these pieces had this stuff before. So good news is no big injuries. I'm getting everybody back this week. I'm up to 13 playable players, which confuses me. I haven't had this much, well, ever, but it's just weird. I mean, having 2 people out and then buying a player will do that, I guess. But yeah, really good week for me. Things I want to target. I got to get Amber the World level 4. She needs strip ball just more than anything. So that is definitely on the agenda for next week. No promises, but that's the idea anyway. Beyond that, Digidale Love, level 2. Aerodylambic, level 3. These guys, level 4. Demalt to level 3 maybe so I can get Sidestep. Porter Heroes could level up. That'd be okay. I mean, anybody can level up at this point. It's fine. Crescent Dunkel to level 3 would be really nice too, because then I can give it block. Or sidestep. Kind of depends, I guess. But that's the plan. So let's talk about the game. Pretty much this is a story of Zach's dice not hurting me. And then the Yeti being really, really, really nice to me. The Yeti So Zach's team is pretty much all Yeti right now. It's getting better. He's got some level 2 linemen, which definitely gave me some trouble, but I would say the vast majority of his power is in the Yeti right now. And the Yeti procced Wild Animal pretty much constantly. I'm struggling to remember when the Yeti actually succeeded in hitting me more than like twice. And even then, it was the loner, so I didn't care. I mean, it's more than that, certainly, but wasn't able to get anything. I suffered 1 casualty. It was a death on my level 1 thrower, but Apothecary that badly hurt, so no problems whatsoever. And the werewolves kind of screwed him over. Zach's dice weren't really clicking for him, and he wasn't removing my players enough where it mattered. I sustained 4 KOs, but only 2 of them were for him, so only 3 players removed. He did tackle me quite a lot. I definitely failed dodging pretty frequently, but basically, Zach wasn't able to remove enough of my stuff, and I was able to elf ball my way to victory. Elf ball is pretty good sometimes, so I was able to do it. Basically, first half was scoreless, second half managed to get 2 in. So, all in all, very good game for me. I have no complaints. I did roll pretty low, but considering that I have everybody I need at this point, and this is just cushion, I'm okay with this. I mean, rolling a 1 is not ideal, but it does happen, so what it is. In terms of SPP, no casualties because that's how my team works. But I did get 14 total, so that's pretty good. Only 7 for Zach, which is a little unfortunate. Let's take a look at his team. Yeah, no level ups on Zach. He did get double tackle on his lineman, which is pretty good. Yeti's actually 1 injury away from level 4, which is pretty phenomenal, honestly. from the Yeti 8 the MVP, which I say 8, but it's probably okay. The biggest problem I think is that the Yeti doesn't have, well, is that even true? I mean, the Yeti is missing a lot of, I would say, like, normal skills that you would have. Like, there's no thick skull or, well, it already has Mighty Blow. So there's definitely more options on a Yeti than you would on, say, on a normal big guy. Guard is kind of I would say Juggernaut might be worth considering. He is blitzing with this piece a lot, but I could also see getting Guard. Guard is never going to be bad, and sometimes you don't piling on. And with Wild Animal, Guard is pretty good. Stand Firm or Break Tackle also might be okay. Who knows? Maybe he'll roll doubles. Either way, something worth considering. But still, the targets for SPP are probably going to be his other strength axis pieces. His werewolves are not doing a lot for him right now because they don't have block. It's very unfortunate. Berserkers are getting there. 1 SPP each away from leveling up. Runner pretty close as well. Actually, there's a few people within 1 MVP away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. So odds are pretty good. Zach's going to at least have 1 level up after next week, but who knows. Zach Zan had the best season, to say the least. Walked away with 20k, which is really not ideal whatsoever. But hey, we'll have 11 players next week, so that's pretty good. Other matches of the week. Alright, well, I guess we're talking about this right away. I wanted to kind of delay talking about this because it's a weird situation. This matchup just happened, and it was going pretty heavily in Mark's favor, and then Orville quit out and abandoned. So you can kind of see the comparison. I mean, things are going pretty well for Mark, not crazy well, but I don't know what happened with this exactly. So the solution, because there isn't really a good solution at this point, I'm not going to do a 1-1 tie. That gives Orville too much. I'm not going to leave this situation. This gives Mark too much. The solution was do a 1-0 tie. Or 1-0 tie. God, I did this when I was talking about somebody else. A 1-0 forced win for Mark. Wipe stats, which is kind of unfortunate, but it minimizes the amount of free SPP Mark gets, essentially. With this, he's getting 5 SPP. He shouldn't. Here, he's only getting 1. The winnings roll is actually slightly more reasonable, and considering how well Mark's rolled for most of the season, this is actually a pretty normal roll for him. So let's call it a win there. Bad news is, though, the MVP went to zombies, and the touchdown as well. So that's a little unfortunate. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, basically. I have no idea. That's what happened. Nothing changed on Orville's team. We'll look at that when we do a preview. But yeah, that's just how it is. Chris versus Jessup. This is kind of a weird game. So basically, Chris had a good time. Turn 1 blitz, always a good thing to get. Jessup, I think... So Jessup has been really good throughout the season at farming with passing. You can kind of see that. Oh, this is Chris' team. We'll look at it. We can look at it more when we look at Jessup's team. But I think he wasted too much time doing that. Because if he... So there's a couple things. If he had rushed early on, he probably could have scored earlier. The blitz certainly is hard to deal with and puts you back a little bit. But I think it was manageable. And I think he could have gotten pieces downfield. I think he could have gotten the ball down there. Which seems pretty slow. I don't know. I feel like he had better choices in the first half. It didn't help that he basically, because of the blitz, got crushed in by the iron gauntlet that is Chris's team. So that's a little unavoidable. But even going into the second half, it was 2-0. If Jessup, and it was like turn 10 or 12, I don't remember exactly. But if Jessup had hurried and scored, he probably would have been able to tie it up. And even though he almost tied it up, Chris got a little greedy and rolled some skulls when he really wanted to not roll skulls, basically. The good news is it kind of worked out because Jessup did knock over his ball carrier anyway, but still. That could have been a win for Jessup instead of a tie game that he was looking at, and even then. So yeah, basically Chris was able to knock him out early on, which made the first half easy for Chris. Second half, Jessup spent more time farming than winning. And I mean, farming with passing is something you do with elves, I think. Just you have to do it. It's part of what makes the team work. But there's a point where touchdowns are really valuable, and you have to realize when a touchdown is the better choice. I think Jessup basically missed opportunities for a touchdown. Great week for Chris, though. Just absolutely phenomenal. 2 casualties, 2 touchdowns, 3 passes, and an MVP. God, Chris just gets all the SVP in the world. Orc teams are really good for a reason, everybody. So we're looking at 9, 14, 18 SVP this week. It's pretty good. Jessup walking away with a lot less than that, looking at 7, 12. So not that bad, but certainly not what he's used to getting. Some fun level ups for Chris. Not that one. Blackhand leveled up. Roll doubles, because Chris is our doubles king this year. Just all the doubles. It's up to 5 now. And got sidestep. This is something he talked to me about, and I think this is an absolutely great choice for doubles. Dodge is a good choice for a Black Orc. Certainly Blodge 4 strength is annoying and hard to deal with, but dodge is a little more easy to set up with blitzers, because you can actually probably use that dodge, whereas a Black Orc, even if you make a dodge with dodge, it's only 75%, so why bother? Sidestep on the other hand keeps you in obnoxious places. It makes you hard to get rid of, lets you do silly, dangerous things with Black Orcs. It's a really good option. Sidestep is a phenomenal skill, and I think it's definitely the one to get here. It in some ways serves similar functions as Stand Firm, but gives you more maneuverability options. So I think that's the better choice. Certainly, I don't think he had any level ups. If he did, I think he got like Tackle or something. Either way, looking pretty good. This team is terrifying. It's just so good. It's just so good. Let's take a look at Ye Olde Wood Elves. $30K for Jessup. That's probably the worst part, honestly, for this. And I want to stress this again. If this piece had been bought, it would have been a catcher, and it would have been better. So, I don't think he had any level ups here. No, that's not true. Stompy leveled up. Finally got Dirty Player. I mean, this is a nice combo. It's 110 in team value, but it's got a pretty good shot of getting rid of it, and Sneaky Git makes it hard to get rid of him, even if Sneaky Git doesn't proc ever. It still lets you foul more. Now that, and again, I would have gotten Dirty Player first, but it's fine. Guard lineman out is actually kind of a big deal. Guard linemen on an elf team really make things better. It's certainly what's helped Jessup do so well so far. But yeah, I mean, it's still a Wood Elf team. It's still pretty good. He's just kind of running the problem of not buying positionals is going to hurt him. It just is. There's not really another way to explain that. His linemen aren't progressing quickly enough to make up for their lack of initial skills. So there we go. Let's take a look at the other match here. This was a little bit upset for me. I did not expect this, but Andrew did beat Greyduck. Shouldn't be that surprised he did beat me, so he has the power to beat elves. He rolled a 1, which is a little unfortunate. I mean, this game is basically... Nurgle is a really hard team to play against for anybody, but it's an especially hard team to play against if you're an elf team, because the lack of strength makes it hard to hit people. When you do get a chance to hit people, odds are pretty good that foul appearance is going to proc. Well, pretty good. I mean, you have 1 in 6, whatever. And even then, your normal attempts to avoid confrontation and move the ball around are stymied by the fact that you have stink everywhere. So, still, pretty good game from Andrew, though. I would say, I don't know. Basically, he defended well enough the first half, and then was able to just get the ball in the second half and prevent Greyduck from scoring. Just pretty good week for Andrew. I mean, I think Greyduck knows she made some mistakes play-wise, but for the most part, there's only so much you can do against an Nurgle team when you're an elf team, especially a dark elf team, which lacks a lot of the really powerful ball-moving skills. So, is what it is. But great week for Andrew. 2 casualties finally, getting some decent ones there. MVP, touchdown, and up 12. Not great, but considering Andrews has pretty bad luck SPP-wise prior, not too bad. Unfortunately, the only level up is a Rodder. I think this Rodder 8 in MVP. Yeah. So Andrew's biggest problem is that his Nurgle Warriors are still just not getting anything, which is really unfortunate. The low money roll also means that he's not going to be able to Nurgle Warrior number 4, which also sucks a bit. Yeah, not fun. I mean, his rotters are all pretty good and annoying. Block is a good skill. But yeah, I'm sure that's pretty frustrating for Andrew. Just not fun. I could actually see firing this rotter here eventually. I think it's fine to keep for now, but we'll see. Then let's take a look at Great X Team. I don't think she had any changes though. Nope, that's not what we want. 40k, so not that bad winnings wise, not that great either, although aside from a second runner, she pretty much has everything she needs now. Looks like she bought second assassin. Okay, that must have happened last week. Either way, missed next game on this minus agility wrestle piece. That's a little frustrating. Yeah, I think maybe we talked about this a little bit, but running an alignment is kind of a problem for Grey Duck at this point. Like next week, I don't know who she's going to put on the line. Maybe an assassin, I guess. But yeah, this team's kind of in a weird place where it keeps hemorrhaging linemen. It's one thing to fire a lineman. It's another to not have an option in the matter. So that's a little unfortunate. So quick look at the rankings here. We're actually pretty clumped up together. With Mark winning, there's a lot of different permutations for how groups can shake out, but basically I feel like bottom three is probably going to stay the same. It's unlikely that this will change too much in terms of a group placement. Like Andrew and Orville might switch places, but overall it's pretty unlikely that a lot changes there. Top four is very, very fluid because we're all within 1 or 2 points of each other. So a lot could happen here. We'll see. Yeah, I've got some predictions about how I think it'll go, but I don't know for sure. There's no guaranteed way of knowing who's going to be who or whatever. I think odds favor Chris and Mark being in the second group with Andrew and Orville, and then Elftown, basically. Elftown plus Zach. They're probably the groups I think we're going to come out. But we'll see what happens. It's Blood Bowl. Anything can go wrong, and it very often does. Let's take a look at next week. We've got Orville versus Zach. This matchup, we'll see what happens, I guess. Orville's got his Ogre back, so that'll help. 1480. Zach has, where are we? So 180 for Zach next week. This matchup should be interesting. I mean, last time they met, it ended up being a tie because Zach's hit dice did a thing. I think he's finally got a good handle on this team too, which is certainly helping. I mean, he certainly played well against me. Just his dice weren't cooperating with him. He's got a lot of tackle, so his Orville's catchers aren't going to be doing that much. That said, he only has 2, so we'll see. I don't know. I mean, he's got tackle, not guard. So we'll see. He's got a fair number of wrestle pieces. Does he have more than that? No, this is the one. I mean, and he can move the ball pretty effectively. What do I think about this? This is kind of hard. I mean, a tie feels pretty likely, I think. I don't know. I feel like Orville can beat Zach, honestly. I feel like the week from 2 weeks ago was more a product of Orville kind of having things not go his way. I'm going to say Orville will win this game. We'll see what happens, though. Me versus Chris. Last time we played, I definitely won. This week, 1640 for Chris. I'll be giving him some money, I believe. Yeah, 1710. I don't know. Porter Heroes might be worth firing long term, but we'll see what happens. I don't have anybody else to hire, so probably not. 1710, so 50 or 70k to Chris, so just a babe. Whatever, no big deal. I guess he could hire a mercenary goblin instead of a babe if he wants to do that, but I don't know why he would do that. I think I can win this game. They did last time. I mean, Chris certainly they'll probably be a little more prepared against elf teams, but I don't know. We'll see. I also have a lot more stuff than I did last time. So let's say me. I mean, Chris has more stuff too, but I feel like my pieces leveling up means a little bit more. We have Mark versus Grey Duck. This was a tie last time? Nope, Mark won. 15-20 for Grey Duck. No mercenaries for once. $14.90, so nothing to anybody. I feel pretty confident calling this a tie. I mean, I feel like it wasn't almost a tie, I guess. It was pretty close, though. Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. It almost wasn't a tie for a lot of reasons. I feel like Mark could do more, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to say. I think a tie is pretty fair, all things considered. It'll probably be close, and I could certainly see it going one way or the other. I don't imagine it being much more than like 1 point difference, though. Like a 2-1 or 1-0 seems pretty likely. And then we've got Andrew versus Jessup. Andrew has apparently learned the way of crushing elves pretty well. I mean, like I mentioned prior, elves is kind of a good matchup for Nurgle anyway. Assuming normal roll-ups here, assuming normal level ups, 1380. Jessup walking away with a grand total of 1620. So Andrew is getting 240 in inducements. That's a little unfortunate for Andrew. I mean, he can just do what he did against Grey Duck and get 2 rerolls. That works pretty well, especially for a Nurgle team. I mean, Jessup barely beat Andrew last time, and that was with kind of a very lucky kill on Nurgle Warrior. And that while that Nurgle Warrior is still missing, I don't know. I feel like Andrew kind of has a better sense of how to manage his team against a elf team at this stage of the game. You know what? He's beaten 2 of us elf players. I'm gonna say he's gonna make it 3. Let's say that Jessup loses this one. I think that's, well, is that really realistic? I don't know. Andrew, it's hard for Andrew to score, and Jessup is pretty fast and does have ball moving abilities. Let's say a tie. How about that? We'll scale it back to a tie. We'll call that our conservative choice. Certainly could see it going one way or the other. But you never know. Cool. Hall of Fame. What we've got. Cheese is level... Oh yeah, the level 4 catcher, that's still the same. Muffin's getting pretty close. Still there, nothing changed there. Squatch, really close to level 4 as well. A bunch of other people near-ish level 4, but pretty good SPP spread this season, honestly. Best score, still Cheese with 8. Although Gargath with 6 is pretty good. Always a good thing to see there. Best thrower, Dog throws a lot all the time with 19 throws total. I mentioned this last time, but that's a lot of SPP just on throws alone. No new interceptions. Always tragic. I always want more. Most violent player, still Squatch with up to 12 injuries. We'll see. Honestly, this season doesn't feel that injury intensive. And part of that is Mark not rolling any armor breaks ever in a lot of ways. But I think all told we've had... I think we're averaging less than 2 casualties a game, which, I mean, we've got 3 elf teams. That's kind of be expected, but you think that would be made up for with the lower armor values. So I don't know, whatever. Best runner is still Parsec with 310, barely holding on to that lead over Thrall. I'm sure Chris will be looking to take that spot back from him. Yeah, some good competition here. 3rd place, some good competition there as well. Best thrower, Dog, not that surprising considering how many passes he has made. Survivor, what doesn't mean anything. Best killer, do we have skulls this week? I don't think anybody died this week. Trying to remember. I just looked. No, nobody died this week. Hooray! I mean, we're still way ahead. We're still way ahead. In terms of deaths, we We're up to 17 dead players, 15 from kills alone. So we could go another 2 weeks with no deaths and still manage to hit or another 3 weeks without deaths and still hit a death a week or a kill a week. We could pretty much go all the way up to the playoffs and not have any problems. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have some more skulls because our league loves to feed skulls to the Skull Throne. So, quick recap of my predictions. I believe that I have to remember my predictions because for some reason it's just sliding down to my brain. Okay, I think that Orville will beat Zach. I think that I will beat Chris. I think that this will be a tie, and I think that Andrew will tie as well. So a lot of ties this week. We'll see how wrong I am next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll talk to you later.